Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boost Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, this literally does not work. And I've got to actually take care of some business here. I'm looking for some people to email me because we have your Joe Barty that's ready to go out. These are people that we called during the draft show. How could you? You weren't here. We called your name. Say my name. Say my name. Oh, I'm sorry. Brandy Brewer. Email me so we can get your address and get your Joe Barty. Stephen Griffin. Email me so we can get you your Joe Barty. Kid Mega _ 14 or 14. 14. I like 14 better. And James Nooks. Those are our 4 winners of Joe Barty's. Also to ladies, Sid. I'm not sure who Sid is. Joe Boo Sports fan, we're looking for you. Miss Anita Applebaum. I need guys your information to Joseph Heatherly because you won some jewelry here. So now that we got that out the way here, I'm going to start doing, I've just been so busy and getting caught up after everything that was getting ready for the draft. But I'm going to start taking a look and breaking down each one of the draft picks that Stephen Jones is hoping that all 11 of them make the roster. He said it would be a reach. But, you know, they all have the potential to make the roster. And he would love that because why else? They're a lot cheaper than the veterans. We'll see if that happens. Now, our quarterback, Dak Prescott, says he could play a game right now. Right now, he could go on and play a game. I'm happy to hear that. I'm okay if he does not play right now. He can wait. We can wait. We can put it off. Let's let the thing heal some more and so on. We got plenty of time to get there. And Aaron frickin' Rodgers is still making waves. The diva that is, who knows where he'll end up. Right now, the odds are favorite is Denver. And it's funny because Terry Bradshaw basically said, you're weak. The fact that you can't handle somebody else being team, he said you're weak. Who gives a rat's ass they brought in? You worry about you, dude. I mean, he didn't but say, you're a punk ass biatch. He almost said he's soft. But I guess this is part of today's culture of me, and everything being handed to you. Well, I hate to tell you, I've learned the hard way that ain't nothing handed to you. If you want something, you got to go out there and earn that shit. And that is the truth, not only in football, but in life. And speaking of earning things, I got a real question for you guys. It seems like, I've touched on this a couple of times here, it seems like Mike McCarthy isn't per se always in the loop on everything. Now, we know that the Jones family has a tendency to like to be a little bit controlling. You know, they like to be in charge. They like to be running shit. We all know that. We all know that. It seems like Dan Quinn is the new hottie for the Cowboys. You know, the hope of the season is being put on Dan Quinn. And people are wondering, does he, you know, because I've heard so many of our fans here say, well, you know, Dan Quinn plays well. You know, it's only going to be short-lived. You know, he's going to come in and do a great job and then gone. And it's like, you know what? I'll worry about if he's going to be gone after he does a great job. How about that? Because sometimes people worry about things that, you know, you may not have to worry about. You don't know. Deal with the situation when it comes up. Don't waste your time worrying about it. But it's led to speculation of, does Dan Quinn want to be a head coach? This morning's video was, if Mike McCarthy hiccups looks a little bit less than perfect, that it could be that you have the next head coach right there. But in retrospect, he may not want to be the coach because there's a lot of coordinators that are incredible coordinators. And understand, being a coordinator is different than being a head coach. Head coach is more of a CEO where you're delegating people. You have a vision of what you want to accomplish, but you need other people to be the hands-on one to teach. You follow me? Being a defensive coordinator is you're refining it. You're deciding, are we a 3-4? Are we a hybrid defense? What's our identity? What's our mentality? Because players will take on the tone of their coach. So that is the guy. Excuse me. It was hot. It was hot and humid earlier today. I actually put the cover on the patio heater because I got a cover. I said I don't want to mess it up. Now it's put together. But that cover could come off because it got cold. It went from like 89 degrees to now about 50 degrees. And, this is how you catch a cold. But anyway, it's a different set of skills. And a lot of times we've seen great coordinators who were ass as head coaches. Norv Turner, the genius of the 90s Cowboys. He goes to Washington, and he's kind of meh. Although everybody's kind of meh in Washington, so maybe you can't count that one. But in his other stops, of course, you think about him with San Diego and so on. But when he became, after getting fired from that, going back to being coordinator, best mind in football. About that, guys. Don't know what the problem is. So the question is Dan Quinn more like, say, a Wade Phillips? Wade Phillips, you cannot argue with what he's done with defenses. You can't. But as a head coach, where you got to make all the for the team, he's made some boneheaded ones. One, I can remember when he was with Buffalo, and he had Doug Flutie. He didn't like Doug Flutie because, Doug Flutie, he's not a traditional. He doesn't look like a quarterback. He's not 6'3", cannon arm. The guy's like 5'10". He never bought into Doug Flutie. He believed in the Rob Johnsons because Rob Johnson, oh my God, that guy looks like a quarterback. He breathes, it's just sweating out his pores. And Rob Johnson got hurt. Doug Flutie took over. Doug Flutie led them to the playoffs. And here comes the playoffs. Doug, we're going to sit you. We're going to play Rob. Rob Johnson was ass. Rob Johnson was out of the league in a year or two from that point. Rob Johnson was not the guy. Doug Flutie went on to have a great career. And Wade Phillips missed out. Huge mistake. Wade Phillips, head coach at other places, like, say, here in Dallas, got undermined and fired from the Cowboys. Went back to being coordinator. Back to being an extremely good coordinator. Ended up winning the Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos with a lights-out defense. So the question is, after Dan Quinn, who, quite honestly, his record wasn't, that last year was terrible. They just lost too many games in the end. 43-42. It's not the worst record I've seen out there. Hell, Sean Payton's had 5 seasons of 7-9. He did take, over the course of 5 seasons, the Atlanta Falcons to the Super Bowl and almost won it? Or do we say choked it away? I don't know where you want to go with that. As a defensive coordinator, it may be that's the set of skills that he really has, and he needs to be a defensive coordinator. I tell you what I love. I'm just having all kinds of hiccups here tonight. I tell you what I love his mentality. You guys will get sick of this video. But I truly believe what he is going to instill, what he is going to put in the players' brains, what he is going to get them to do is literally get ready to run through a brick wall. I think he may be a motivator. Maybe I'm just so happy that he is not, Mike Nolan. Maybe I'm just happy that he's not Rod Martinelli. And again, another guy who wasn't real good as a head coach, but was a really good defensive mind and a pretty good defensive coordinator. I think he got a little cautious, in the last couple of years, where he liked to bend, don't break, and didn't want to take risks. But be that as it may, another case where he's a better coordinator than head coach. He was a head coach of the Detroit Lions, and I believe Dan Orlowski was his quarterback. So there's that. Anybody that would start Dan Orlowski shouldn't be a head coach. How about that? But this, to me, is the mentality that we are going to see, and I'm hoping that we are building the Legion of Doom. I said that before when Chris Richard came, but Chris Richard wasn't the head person in charge. Just this is 3 minutes of your life. Just listen to him and enjoy.
Yeah, we knew whatever conditions were going to come up tonight, we really, one of the main things we want to do was let's play at our style. And we did that tonight. That was one of the things going
our
in,
style.
All year long. We're fast, we're physical, and we have a real style about how we play. I thought that came out tonight.
Coach, game like this make defense again?
I certainly hope so. Couldn't be more proud to be part of that unit that plays, with an aggressive style. We talked about out-hitting people in terms of how we want to affect the quarterback and even checking the ball down, the way we want to tackle. We wanted to win it with fundamentals, and our guys work really hard in that fashion. It's something that our coaching staff and the players, we talk tackling, we talk turnovers, really every day that we practice, and that's what came through tonight.
What do you get, Joe?
Well, we certainly have so much respect for their offense the way they did. So I was not surprised that we played well. We've had terrific weeks of practice and preparation. So going into it, we were healthy and really felt like we were going to play fast and physical. We prepared for no huddle. And if you give those group of guys 2 weeks to prepare, the coaches and those players, I think you're going to like the results.
What did you tell your players after the game, Coach?
Really just how proud I was to be part of the unit, and the thing that I was most impressed about is that we really played in a style and fashion that we're accustomed to. We're fast, we're physical, we played this game on our terms, and that was one of the things we went into the game saying, and for us to go and play it in that way, and have it come true in that way, it was awesome.
What are the Seahawks rank the all-time greatest defenses?
I'll let you guys decide that. I couldn't be more fired up to be part of our unit and the attitude and the way that we play, so I'll leave that to you guys. Coach Carroll has been he's been huge for my career. I think just how to feature the players, and let's find what a player can do well, and let's accent that. And that would be one of the many things that he's taught me.
What did that first front? Did you anticipate it would be that one-sided? It looked like it was dominating their offense.
I don't know about that, but I certainly know our guys know how to rush, and that was one of the things we knew. When you face a quarterback like him, you better be able to affect him. We didn't talk about sacks or hits. We talked about can we get him off the spot. And we knew in certain coverages there was going to be times when he got the ball out and under 2.2, 2.3, which is hard for a rusher. We know sometimes it can be, if it's at 2.6 or 2.7, that's when you can get the hit. So we knew they'd have to deal with us, in terms of, I was fired up for Clem and what he was able to do, and Cliff and Michael have been doing that for a while. So it was just another example of how, we have a really deep front, and some games you have to play real hard ball. It's going to be a running team, and then there's games like tonight where it's going to be more featured pass rush.
What did that Peyton Manning several times audibled into a run, like Bobby Wagner was nodding. He came back and made a signal. Did you guys know any of the calls and signals?
We did not. In fact, some of our calls, we just wanted to have some fun, and we made up some calls just so we'd be able to do some too.
Okay, so a couple things, as you listen to something a couple of times, you start getting a different perspective on it. And a couple of things that he said in there, he talked about Cliff Averill and Michael Bennett and things like that, and about being deep in the defensive line. You can look at this right now that the Cowboys Let's be clear here. They had a lot of really good pass rushers. Cliff Avril came from the Lions, another one of those guys I talk about that gives back. United Way guy. I met him actually in 2013 at this youth symposium. But Michael Bennett, Michael Bennett's a really good pass rusher, but he's not, these aren't Khalil Macks. But what they have is they have a lot of guys that were able to throw at you. So when you start listening to him talking about being fast and physical, I can guarantee you that physicality is going to be preached into these guys about being, that guy with the chip on the shoulder. They talked about having a deep defensive line. We're trying to build that right now between Gallimore and Antoine Woods, Tristan Hill, of course, the Bohemian Beast that's in there. Bradley and I. You think of Randy Gregory. You think of D-Law. You have actually a nice rotation of guys. And then you start adding guys like Brent Urban and things to the mix. I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart right now. But you see what he's trying to recreate here with this defense, similar to what he had with Seattle. I can throw fresh bodies that are athletic and have length that can get separation. So you can almost start figuring they're going to be doing more of a read and react type of a defensive scheme, which basically, if you can read the players, as in, you fight the pressure and stuff, it leads you to the ball, and you can end up being more and more aggressive. You see where he is looking for linebackers that are quicker, that are harder hitting, that can, chase down a guy and knock him backwards. So you can kind of infer a lot of the things that he said as a defensive coordinator with Seattle that he's trying to recreate here. Now, so you look at this, you can see the excitement when he did the press interview the other day. He is giddy about this. And you don't have to take all of the press conferences. You don't have to take all of the scrutiny, and you have to be the guy that's answering for everybody. You may be being just that defensive coordinator. Time will tell if he wants to be a head coach or not. I've said it before. I've run big projects and been the paperwork guy working in an office. But for me, I hated it. I don't want to do that. I want to be there building. I want to be there using my hands. And we'll see if this is Dan Quinn. So with guys, ladies, make sure everybody's name that I call that you email me so that way we can get your Joe Barty out to you. Somebody asked, they said, when are you going to do the mini Joe Bartys? They're right there, and they're on my website. With that being said, you know what time it is. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Sports Report. Oh, yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow.